Jason Lee Podcast.
Welcome back to an all-new episode of the Jason Lee Podcast. I am Jason Lee. I've been enjoying time away now that my back is fully healed and my stomach is also fully healed because I've had stomach and back issues. Which, you know, I start thinking of mortality because everybody around is dying. Right?
Yeah.
It's really sad. Well, we don't need to bring the energy down. Yes, we're dying. But, you know, you start thinking of your own mortality. Now I'm having a sinus thing. I went to the ear, nose, and throat doctor today. It's the first time in my entire life that I've had my ear, my nose, and my throat checked. You know, the thing about this show is you really can't say anything without people thinking something, right? And I don't know if it's me and my history, but we have come a long way. I just recently went to Miami for a vacation and spent 8 days in that sunny city, beautiful sunny city. I missed the condo. I drove by the condo on the beach. I had an amazing time, and it just reminded me that I am that. You know, I forget at times that I'm Jason Lee. I've been going through this thing where I'm like, oh my God, I fell off. My brand is this and that. When really I just ran for office and won. And on top of that, did the award show and all these different things. And I know in my heart that I haven't fallen off. But, you know, I'm in a competition with myself. I like to wake up every day and get everything done. My motto is if I'm awake, I'm working. But the reality is when you're 47 years old, sometimes when you wake, you need to go to sleep and you got to take a nap and you got to take care of yourself. And again, we talk a lot about healthcare around here and healthcare unlocked and all that. It's really important that we're taking care of ourselves, including my team too. You know, we all should take care of ourselves. Rob is still recovering from his bad bitch surgery where he had the liposuction done to his stomach. He's actually at work today with no faja, which is crazy because he's not following the doctor's orders. And his Etch-a-Sketch abs will not come in time for the summer if he keeps playing around. And then what you gonna do?
I'm following the orders. The faja was giving me like a little rash under my arm, so I had to just move to a waist trainer.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't it give you a lot more respect for all the BBLs and everything around the world that these people go through?
It really does. And just the ladies going out wearing fajas to the club, I don't know how y'all do it. It is uncomfortable.
But when the women do it, y'all are getting butt tucked, nips pumped in, like the whole thing's lipo here, there. And I will say, let me give a round of applause to my good sis Cardi B. Girl, you be flying out the country to get that work done. That butt and be having the hoses and the drains and all this and that. I don't know how you all do it. I'm watching you do it. I have work I want to get done. Yes, I want to get nipped and tucked too, so I want to be a bad bitch councilman. Okay. Either way, shout out to everybody in Miami, from the airport to the planes to the drivers in the cars, restaurants, celebrities, non-celebrities, fans. Everybody is watching the Stockton City Council stuff. And I have to say thank you so much because it feels really good and I feel really accomplished putting my little city on the map where everywhere I'm going, from DJ Khaled to Chance the Rapper, just everybody saying, yo, what you're doing in Stockton is inspiring us, and thank you for doing what you're doing, because this really is what we all should be doing if we have a platform, if we have the power and the time and the resource to run or put people in office that represent the interests that we and our families have. We have to do it because this world is changing. We're going to talk about it today, and you are the world, and you all of us are subject to these changes. So you either are going to sit on the sidelines and complain, or you're going to get in the game. And I did make the major sacrifice to do that. I get sworn in on January 7th. I'm going to take you all along for the ride. And I'm also working with my team to put together my whole digital landscape for next year, where I'm going to start taking people behind the scenes on Snapchat. I'm going to start doing some stuff on live and posting my thoughts on TikTok. And then my personal Facebook page, I'm going to be doing a lot of daily content just to kind of keep everybody connected, because although my body will be physically in Stockton, California, you know, I live on this good old internet, so you'll see me. Lots went on in Art Basel. I have to tell you that I was in Art Basel with no security. And I realized that the Jason Lee of who I have been and what I have done on this good old internet has to have security at all times. I went everywhere. I kind of dipped in and out. I didn't have the pressure of a schedule where you got to go here, you got to go there, because I was on vacation, but I was there for 8 days and it was Art Basel and people were basiling. So I pulled up. I spent a lot of time reconnecting with people. I saw Serena Williams. She was there. Serena is now reading my book, God Must Have Forgotten About Me, realizing that I love God and I'm not afraid of him. She's been watching us go viral online, but I went to her event with AP, Audemars, and Vanity Fair, and it was an amazing conversation with her and Simone Biles around the strength and endurance as some of the GOATs in our industry. I have to say special shout out to Simone Biles. I was able to finally meet her. She's so sweet and smart and just inspiring that I'm glad I was able to be in proximity to her because, you know, we hear the headlines of her relationship or this, that, but even how she spoke about her husband and the time they spend together and all those things. And the fact that she is a gymnast is inspiring. Serena's daughter, who's a gymnast or soon to be gymnast or whatever. It was really good to see two strong Black women sitting there in a room full of others, talking about the success and the journey that they've been able to achieve. And then I went to see Serena Williams later that weekend at an event that she was having for one of her apps. People may not know, but Serena, on top of being a dominant force on the court and as an athlete, is also a major investor with Serena Ventures. She has her own venture fund. One of her companies, Bumble. Some of y'all out there looking for love on it, or in Rob's case, you know, a late night snack. But either way, she's a major player in the game. And so I took Tiffany over there, Tiffany Haddish. We hung out most of the time on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and took her over to see her. Then I skirted over to the Soho House Beach Club where I partied with my friend Diplo. I was able to sit up there at the DJ booth and feel like I knew what I was doing. He was managing 4 turntables at the same time. But one thing I love about Diplo is his energy and being able to transition from different genres. So I thought I made an executive order as not as a councilman, but as an executive, chief executive officer, that we hired Diplo to do our after party at the award show.
Oh, yeah. That's dope.
We talked about that,
yeah,
right?
we did for this year.
But he was unavailable.
Yeah, he was unavailable.
Because he's too damn famous. Diplo's kind of hot, too, by the way. You know, I'm going to leave it there because, you know, I don't know his situation. Hey, Wes. All right, but we had a good time there. Then I went over to DJ Khaled's event. DJ Khaled had an event for We the Best Foundation where him and Michael Jordan partner up for a whole weekend of festivities. And I was really happy to be able to connect with him and, you know, hear about the good thing that he's doing. His kids are growing up. They're big now. His wife looks amazing. And DJ Khaled had a lot of positive words to say about the work that we're doing in Stockton and him watching everything. So anyway, I want to give a shout out to him. And I was looking at comments of you all saying, why are you talking to him when he doesn't stand up for the genocide happening in Palestine, in Gaza? And some of you that were Black saying that, I was thinking, well, why aren't y'all mad about what's the genocide happening in the Congo? Because social media don't talk about it. It's a lot of us being slaughtered in the Congo right now. We need to start doing our research. You know, I wasn't there to talk about his politics, what he does or doesn't do. I've been very clear to speak up in support of ending the genocide in Gaza because it's gone beyond what it, I think, was intended to be. And I've said that out of my own mouth. Rob and I have both shared those sentiments privately. I think the folks in Israel have had the right to respond and still have the right to respond. And those hostages have the right to come home and come home safely. But we're all tired of seeing babies murdered on a daily basis, and we're tired of seeing families separated from their families who are dying. And at some point, there has to be a real strategic plan to end this very chaotic situation and making sure that aid gets to the people. I mean, it's just a basic right? That people who are in a space, and not to mention this is an open air prison where like you can't even really go nowhere. Like you're stuck in a corridor where you're going to be slaughtered. And that to me is the world should be speaking up more about that. That does not mean that we're anti-Jew or anti-Israel or whatever. I'm pro-peace. I want to get to a place where we don't have slave trade happening in Libya. We don't have Africans being slaughtered in the Congo or people being killed over blood diamonds that your queens and kings wear. You know what I'm talking about. But I also had a very interesting conversation with somebody close to the Beyonce and Jay-Z situation, which I'll be talking about later because the internet, baby, the kingdom is on fire. And all of you have been asking me to say something. I want to be very clear today, and you're probably going to want to know where to skip to go straight to the Jay-Z, Beyonce stuff, because that's what y'all be saying when y'all log in, like, where's the Jay-Z, Beyonce? You're going to watch this whole show because it's going to be at the end. TikTok, do your thing. I want to be very clear. I am going to deliver the news and give you my opinion on what I think and based on what I know. But I am very disturbed at the whole onslaught of desire to destroy Jay-Z and Beyonce. And I'm going to tell you why. You know, I lived through the era of a Michael Jackson, where that man, if you read my book, was somebody who came to my hometown when we had a mass shooting, who I pursued when I got home. I tracked him down on the phone. And what Michael Jackson said to me on the phone, which I put in my book, is you have an aura about you and I can feel it through the phone. There's something special. I always took that with me. And what I know for sure is that the entertainment industry has been my vehicle to live out the dreams I have of just really digging into the celebrity culture. So for me to now be in it and every week have to talk about the most craziest, wildest stories, it's been very perplexing because on one hand, I love the culture and I love Beyonce. Like everybody that knows me knows from day one, I love Beyonce. So this weekend, it was really hard to talk to people close to them who believe that I am out to get them or I'm out to destroy her, and that she and he believe that I am intentionally out to get them. And so I'm going to use my platform to speak my piece. I have not been contacted by Jay-Z or Beyonce, but it really bothers me at the idea that, like, you know, I've fallen in love with this woman as a fan, and then now she may believe that I don't like her, that I'm doing things intentionally to hurt her family. And there are young children involved. And again, we'll get into that more later on down the road. But it has been a week. And I'm going to tell you, this news cycle this week, does it seem like it's getting crazier?
Crazier and crazier.
In all industries.
When you're in your personal time, do people talk to you about these topics or what they see on the show? Because they see you on the show, clearly.
And everyone's like, what is Jason? I'm like, he's not saying. Everyone always wants to know through me what you. I'm like,
and now everybody walking up asking me to see my stomach. Thank you very much.
Well, if he has a faja on doing it the right way, you won't be able to see his stomach. Okay. I'm really interested in seeing how they sketch these abs in, by the way, because if it works for you, hey, Lord knows, I'll be over there in Turkey or wherever you went. Okay.
Beverly Hills.
You know what's funny is I was in Miami and I went to the lounge because I wanted to have breakfast, you know, and I went to the Centurion Lounge for Amex, which if you spend a lot of money on Amex, you end up getting points where you earn going into the Premier Lounge. That is my life, okay?
cool.
But when I talk about these things on Facebook, I don't think about what my constituents in District 6 are reading, you know, because it probably doesn't look relatable. But this is where I tell everybody I'm going to be who I am, and people know who they elected. I worked hard to go from the slums of Scribner Street, where I lived and struggled, right? And Sutter Street and Park, where when I say the slum, meaning like it was for me as a foster kid, as somebody who didn't have much. It's not necessarily the infrastructure of the housing. It's like the life I was living with no money, enough money, 50 cents to get on a bus, you know, maybe a couple dollars to go and buy a snack, to be able to go into the Centurion Lounge. That, to me, the reason why I share those things is because everybody can do it or should have the opportunity to do it. And I didn't take an oath of poverty to take on the city. I actually took on the city as a businessman to show my colleagues and my peers and the community that you can do better and you should do better and get better and receive better. So anyway, I put on there how the food in the Centurion Lounge is subpar. And people, my consultant called and he said, you know, you spoke real truth to power when you wrote that post. I said, look, I spoke the truth. Centurion Lounge, do better. All right, enough of that. Let's get to the tea with Jason Lee. Well, there was a delay in the show because Johnny was probably applying for Grindr. Let me tell you what happened this morning before we even get to it, because I totally forgot about this. You know, my staff, they all want to be digital influencers. Marina's the best at the behind-the-scenes stuff. Keisha's trying to learn from her while Keisha's creating her own luxury brand. Then you have Johnny, who is showing you how he's getting hip-hop abs once a week doing
It's
sit-ups.
from Twink to Tank. That's the series.
No, twink to twunk. Get the terminology right.
He said tank.
Johnny wants to be a twunk. Well, either way, you know, I wake up and I don't monitor my staff's social media because, quite frankly, by the way, you guys did a very inappropriate thing on his birthday. Yeah, I saw that. Anyway, I do see their social media from time to time, but these people live their own lives, and at this point, I don't care what they're doing on their social media as long as they're not in the streets creating crimes. Well, I was leaving the gym this morning and I saw Johnny post something, some post about Grindr. Well, I don't want my staff on the sex apps. In fact, I had to have Rob get off. Well, Johnny posted this post about Grindr this morning. Take a look.
Has less than 150 full-time employees right now. And so we are very efficient. You know, our revenue per head is very high. It's over $2 million per full-time employee. And that's something I'm really proud of. I'm a really, really big believer in super lean organization.
Well, if you saw at the bottom of the post, he said if you hear the Grindr app go off on his phone, it's not a hookup. He has a new job at Grindr because $2 million a person is a lot. This is why we have to be very careful with social media. Number one, your boss is watching. Number two, you probably shouldn't have a job where you're actually talking about how excited you would be to leave that job to go get another job, especially when you have somebody like me at the helm of the ship in the midst of strategic planning for next year, which we're talking tomorrow about strategic planning. I DM'd Johnny and I said, you misunderstood that post. I'm going to read it. Hold on. That's how much money the company is making per employee, not how much employee is making. What he's saying in essence is, to me, is that I'm not making as much money per employee and need to reevaluate my business model as a tech company. So Johnny was like, oh my God, this is like business 101. Thank you, boss, for telling me what he meant. I'm sorry. Then he went ahead and posted this video. So
I got that last post wrong. It's $2 million of revenue per employee. So now I gotta, so now my boss just commented on that, giving me some business 101. And it ended with good luck at Grindr.
I said, well, good luck going to Grindr. You know, he's still here at work. He hasn't applied. And now that he realizes that those people that are making the company $2 million a year are probably making $17.50 an hour. But either way, you know, no shade. Johnny's still gainfully employed, but you definitely
bitch, you try.
Stay off the internet. Things are just so crazy right now with the way the world is working. In fact, people who work for this job are in trouble on day one because Trump is saying that on day one, he's making all types of plans, including working with Elon Musk to make all the work at home people go into the office. You know, I thought about this because I was like, you know, what would Elon do as it relates to my company? You know, my staff do work from home. Some of them, Marina and Johnny, don't work from home all the time. But, you know, most of my staff work from home, but maybe they should be in the office. Would that drive performance? I don't know. What I also know is that Donald Trump is going to be driving a lot of people, not only to the office, but some of y'all out the country. And I have to tell you, while I'm not going to be one of those not my problem people, some of this stuff is not my problem. And I will tell you, I am sleeping peacefully at night because I'm not letting Agent Orange rent no space in my head. I know how my vote was. I'm going to move forward for the next 4 years and focus on my city while the whole world is set ablaze. But I do want to remind all of you from the beginning that you don't get to say, not me, not me, not me, because y'all were all screaming, why the black lady who locked all the blacks up? Why the black lady who ain't black? Why Kamala, not Kamala? Why? Y'all all thought it was a game, and there are consequences with elections, and baby, we're just a little over a month away from Donald Trump being back at the helm as the president of the United States. We're a little over 1 month away from Donald Trump being sworn back into office for a second term as president of the United States of America, and his day one plans are frightening. Now, aside from Trump wanting to declare a national emergency to weaponize our military and mass deportation of illegal immigrants on day one, which he's calling illegal aliens, not even illegal immigrants, on day one of his presidency, he also wants to end birthright citizenship, which affects American citizens that were born in this country. So let's be clear. If your parents came here and became citizens and you were born here and were already a citizen, he could make changes that affect all of you because that's the way he's going to stop from separating the families. He's just going to send y'all asses right back where you came from, even though you came from this country. Now, in his interview with NBC's Meet the Press, Trump had this to say.
4 million families in America who have mixed immigration status. So I'm talking about parents who might be here illegally, but the kids are here legally. Your borders are
You're talking about separation?
Yeah, well, I mean, there are two aspects to this. Your borders are, Tom Homan said, they can be deported together. Correct. Is that the plan?
Well, that way you keep well, I don't want to be breaking up families, so the only way you don't break up the family is you keep them together, and you have to send them all back.
Even kids who are here legally?
Well, what you're going to do if they want to stay with the father? Look, we have to have rules and regulations. You can always find something out like, you know, this doesn't work, that doesn't work.
You promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people but we have to end it. We're the only country that has it.
Through an executive action?
You know, we're the only country that has it. Do you know, if somebody sets a foot, just a foot, 1 foot, you don't need two, on our land, congratulations, you are now a citizen of the United States of America. Yes, we're going to end that because it's ridiculous.
Through executive action?
Well, if we can, through executive action. I was going to do it through executive action, but then we had to fix COVID first, to be honest with you. We have to end it.
Not going to say not my problem, but y'all voted for it. Technically, all of our families were born in Africa. Technically. So does that mean that we're all going to get deported? I hope not. When you hear this nonsense about, I mean, I do think, again, immigration is a thing we've never been able to figure out as a country, and we should, if you are here without going through the established process, you should go back where you came from. And that isn't just to Mexico. That's to Africa. That's to India. That's to Croatia. That's to Russia. That's to anywhere where you come from. Because a lot of people come illegally from Canada, who come from Poland. They come from all over the world, right? But when you hear this rhetoric, what do you think?
It's ridiculous. And there's like, one, he's spouting so much misinformation. America is not the only country that offers birthright citizenship. There's, I think, upwards of 80 countries that offer some form of birthright citizenship. So that's just a complete lie. And like, he just continuously says things that don't make sense, and people allow it to slip through the, like, under the radar, because they just believe anything this man says. And I think it's absurd. And the fact that he's willing to say that he's ready to start just changing things that are in the Constitution willy-nilly. Where are all these people who are like so-called patriots who are fighting for the Constitution? And this man is sitting here saying he wants to change it on day one.
Now, granted, I think what people like about Trump is he tells you who he is. He's very clear about that. He's a disruptor, very much like I am to the city of Stockton. So I understand people who want change, they really do feed off that energy of, well, he's going to do it. He's going to make it happen. But there's things that he's proposing, even in when we get to the tariffs, that are going to affect the average person. So like for me, flying through airports, going to Centurion lounges, I know that's not the reality of every working class person who has to negotiate whether they feed their child, pay their rent, or go to the doctor. I went to the doctor today just to get my ears, nose, and throat checked. Why do you laugh every time I say throat?
Why? That's the point.
Hey,
$1,200
What?
to this specialist for my ear, nose. $1,200.
it wasn't covered?
No, I guess not. I had to pay it. But my point is that everybody, like, healthcare in this country is a real significant. Well,
We'll talk about that later, I'm sure.
Well, that's on the next thing. But it's a real issue, and people are struggling out here. And, you know, I'm thankful that as much as I'm benefiting from the hard work that I've done over the years, and Rob saw me struggle. So it's not like I just, like, got here, right? I am still grounded because my family and friends are still on the ground, and I know what is happening as it pertains to people who are struggling. But, you know, these families who come to our country, not everybody comes here because they want to be murderers, rapists, killers, all the things that have been depicted by Agent Orange. There are people who are fleeing their country because they're being murdered by their leaders, or they're somehow not being able to participate in rights and discussions around the best interest for them and their children and their family. So we have to think about, you know, that it doesn't mean that United States should be a dumping ground for anything that wants to come in our country, but we should have processes that work for people. And for some of these people who were born here, they were born here, so they were born into citizenship. Well, Trump don't care, because Trump did say, however, that he wants to work with the Democrats to keep the dreamers in America, undocumented immigrants who entered the United States as very young children and then have since grown up in America. In a sit down, he also said that he would not seek to impose restrictions on abortion pills. When asked to make a guarantee, he added, well, I mean, things change. So he's telling you that he's going to do things, but things could change, and he may not do it because he may change his mind. And when he talked about the dreamers, he said he would work with the Democrats to figure out some process, but at some point they're on the table too. And again, I've said from the beginning, you know, with the eradication of DEI, fighting to keep books out of schools, to educate people on the real true history of this country, you know, and the way that they're cleansing the country, it's almost as if they are trying to purify and go back to as much whiteness as they can. That's just my own opinion. I'll say allegedly.
Allegedly.
We know what it is. Well, Trump also said that Ukraine should probably expect less aid when he returns to the White House. And he also echoed his promise to not cut Social Security nor raise its eligibility age. However, he did say that he cannot guarantee that he won't raise tariffs on imports from major U.S. trading partners, which means his signature promises on the campaign trail, which was to end inflation and lower prices, are complete bullshit. Because we all know that when you add those tariffs, they're going to add a price that you, the consumer, us, the Joe public, have to pay. Now, he's banking on you all being dumb and not paying attention. And there's a lot of you saying, I'm still going to get my stimmy. Well, let me explain to you how you got the stimulus. You got the stimulus as a result of there being a global pandemic where a lot of people died. And you weren't able to leave your homes. You weren't able to go to work. A lot of your jobs changed. A lot of businesses went away. It really crippled our economy, and it made it impossible for us to travel around the world to be with our loved ones. That was a time where he labeled Muslims as terrorists, banning them from coming in our country, if you remember that. People were actually on planes heading home and were stopped and not allowed to re-enter the United States. This was after he was notified that the COVID-19 was on its way here. He then called it the China flu, which totally created chaos in America for Chinese Americans, which in our state had to create protections to protect them from being victims of hate crimes. He then went to Puerto Rico in the midst of that and threw paper towels at the Puerto Ricans to dry up the hurricane that killed a lot of people there and damaged a lot of the land. And that was all before he kind of tried to overthrow the government during the handoff of the election results last time when Joe won and he had everybody climbing up the Capitol like your favorite Marvel superhero. You all then reelected him back in office. This was after he said that women shouldn't have the right to control their bodies. And if they were raped by their cousin, so what? Have the baby and just bring them to the potluck. This is the person that you all voted into office. Not my problem. I said it. I had to say it. Not my problem. I'm not going to rent space in my mind for this psychoticism that is about to ensue. What I will say as an elected leader in Stockton, I will do my best to make sure I work with the council to protect my city from the chaos, because that's all I'm elected to do. But this is why all of you that are looking at a red, meaning Republican Supreme Court, House, Senate, and White House, all looking at the Red Sea, well, you better see your way to figuring out how to join in get in the game and run for office, because until you create a balance in the government where there's some checks and balances, God bless America and God bless all of you who are going to go through it. Now, when you think about it in the context of how the world now is changing, like, I mean, you can kind of forecast that they're in a position to do the most egregious things. They are nominating people who have sex crimes against them, but why not? So does the president. They're nominating people who have been pardoned by him, who were incarcerated. They're nominating wrestler owners' wives as the head of Department of Education after he's about to destroy the Department of Education. What is happening?
Honestly, I'm not surprised at all of this, and it directly impacts me because my parents were not born here. So if I go bye-bye, I'm going to Grindr, I guess, to work there, because maybe I could work remote.
But do your friends at your age group, how old are you?
31.
Okay, so in your age grouping, are your friends talking about this?
Yeah, I feel like it's always being sent in the chat because everyone's like, is this really going to happen? Is this not? Like, it's so scary. Yeah.
Outside of Hollywood Unlocked?
Yeah.
Okay. What, do your friends are talking about it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I much like you, I've made the decision to not bog myself down with the stress of this over the next 4 years, or hopefully 2 years. I've made the decision to not allow myself to be worried about things I can't change. But I am kind of sitting back waiting to see what happens. We have great PPO insurance here. So thank you.
Great insurance.
Do we have great insurance?
Yeah, we have great insurance.
PPO,
so
honey.
I'm sitting back.
Clock it.
Going to the doctor with my good PPO. I'm not losing it. You know, unfortunately, a lot of the things he said on in that interview worry me. Like he was backpedaling a lot. He was walking in circles. I'm not going to do this, but I can't promise. I'm not going to do that, but I can't promise. So we just got to wait and see what happens.
And look, I wish we lived in a country where I didn't have to provide a PPO. Healthcare should be a right in our country. The countries like Canada, everybody has the right to healthcare. My friends don't even understand why you can't go to the dentist or you can't go to the doctor without having to pay. You know, people are dying in our country right now if they don't have healthcare, and that's kind of sad. So, you know, anyhow, He also vowed to pardon the January 6th Capitol rioters. So those people that I said climbed up the Capitol like Marvel superheroes, he said on day one that he will get them out because he said they've been locked up for years and they're in a filthy, disgusting place. It's called prison. Not let's clean up the prison, but like let's just get them out of that place. That shouldn't even be allowed to be open. Speaking of pardons, Joe Biden got his son out. And I'm going to push this button right here. In fact, Joe. Oh my God! I'm going to give you your flowers because if I was in the White House, I would have did it too. I would have also pardoned all the 10,000 people in prison for federal marijuana charges because you can. But at this point, I mean, he's doing everything and Joe Biden can't. President Joe Biden caught mixed reactions, though, when he pardoned his son Hunter, because he initially had said that he would never do it. In fact, in September 2023, Hunter was indicted on 3 federal gun charges in Delaware. And in June 2024, he was convicted on all 3 felony counts, facing up to 25 years in prison. He was indicted in December 2023 on 9 felony counts of tax evasion in California, and he pled guilty in September of 2024 and was due to be sentenced on December 16th, facing 17 years in prison and $1.3 million in fines. However, weeks before the sentencing in all the cases, Hunter was pardoned by his daddy. Now, let's be clear. When he was running for office and said that he would not pardon him, that was while he was going through the process of getting convicted. He never said, I don't believe he ever said, I will never pardon my son, right?
I think he said he wouldn't get involved, yeah.
Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So y'all voted him in. So Joey could do whatever you want. And yes, I got invited to the Christmas party and Rob and I are going. And I'm going to walk up to him and say, can you please pardon me on anything in the future in case some shit goes down for supporting your ass? Well, Trump called Joe's miscarriage of justice an embarrassment to the world because how dare you do what I do? Look. Does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages who have now been in prison for years? Such an abuse and miscarriage of justice. Well, Hunter also put out his statement. Take a look. I have admitted and taken responsibility for my mistakes during the darkest days of my addiction, mistakes that have been exploited to publicly humiliate and shame me and my family for political sport. Despite all of this, I have maintained my sobriety for more than 5 years because of my deep faith and unwavering love and support of my family and friends. In the throes of addiction, I squandered many opportunities and advantages. In recovery, we can be given the opportunity to make amends where possible and rebuild our lives if we never take for granted the mercy that we have been afforded. I will never take the clemency I have been given today for granted and will devote the life I have rebuilt to helping those who are still sick and suffering. Hunter, you could have saved all that and just said, I'm going to McDonald's and getting a number 2. Because at the end of the day, Daddy did what Donald did. And if Donald can do it, then so can Daddy. Daddy Donald Duck did it. Who cares? Congratulations on enjoying your privilege. And that's what a lot of you who don't look like me get, because there's a lot of clemencies to be given to people who don't look like you. And again, it's not your fault. It's the system that your dad's been a part of for 40 years. Not even going to get into the crime bill. Not going to get into none of that. We all know the history. Go to Google. And if you don't Google, I learned my new friend. Her name is ChatGPT. You can go right over there, put in the facts, and you will get them.
Yeah.
People nowadays have no excuse for being dumb. Mm-hmm. You just don't want to be well informed.
Mm-hmm. Zero excuses.
Do you guys chat GPT?
All the time.
When you were talking earlier, I got my blood results and my doctor was like, yeah, you need more B12 and da-da-da. And so I put in the blood results also in a chat GPT and I was like, can you tell me? And it said the same thing the doctor told me.
It's scary.
Yeah, I like cross-reference.
But you can also put in there, what food should I eat to help with this? And it will tell you.
And you can be like, I have this, this, and that in my fridge. And it gives you a whole...
I wonder if we put in chat GPT... who was responsible for the cocaine found in the White House? Will they tell us that?
Should I put it in?
Let's just blame Hunter and add it to his clemency.
Oh, my God.
Friend of the show and friend of mine, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, reacted to the pearl-clutching GOP, and she did it while she was getting on her flight. She looked like she was in first class, by the way. Take a look.
I won't pretend to speak for the entire caucus, but I will say, way to go, Joe. Let me be the first one to congratulate the president for deciding to do this, because at the end of the day, we know that we have a 34-count convicted felon that is about to walk into the White House. So for anyone that wants to clutch their pearls now because he decided that he was going to pardon his son, I would say take a look in the mirror, because we also know that when it comes to this cabinet has more people accused of sexual assault than any incoming cabinet probably ever in the history of America. So we are living in unprecedented times, and we know that this was completely political. As someone who serves on the oversight committee, this was gamesmanship the entire time.
I mean, I agree. We pretty much said that. Charlamagne the God and Whoopi Goldberg also debated about this at The View. Take a listen.
And on this moral high ground all the time. And, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now. But since they were calling Trump a threat to democracy, and they were saying that, nobody's above the law, but they were speaking about him, that's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, nobody's above the law, I respect, the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that. But he didn't have to volunteer that lie to begin with.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a
No,
sudden?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over. And this is just my feeling, because at some point you get to the place where you just go, so I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that they're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground. Listen, they don't have to do that.
I'm a Democrat. Tell me what the moral high ground is.
The moral high ground is nobody's above the law. I respect what the jurors are saying. He don't have to do that.
So we're mad at him because he changed his.
Oh, no. By the way, I'm not mad at him pardoning Hunter Biden.
But you sound like you're mad.
No.
Okay. But that's not a monolith. We're not, Democrats are not a monolith.
But why can't you say when Democrats are wrong? And why can't Republicans say when Republicans are wrong?
I'll tell you when Democrats are wrong.
So you don't think Joe Biden is wrong?
No, I don't. And can I just point this out to you? The president has the pardon power, right?
I didn't say you were ridiculous, Ms. Goldberg. I would never. I said that. I just think that.
Think about it.
I mean, Charlamagne feels the way he feels, and Whoopi said what she said. At the end of the day, we ain't going to slander Joe because Joe did exactly what he did. And this double standard of the Democrats can't, but the Republicans can, and it being led and echoed by black people and brown people is so crazy because it ain't going to happen to me. It ain't my issue. It's not my problem. I think that democracy works when we hold everybody accountable to one standard. The country needs to decide what the standard is at this point. If my family gets arrested in Stockton and I have the ability to get them out, I probably wouldn't because that's not my job. But if everybody else up there is doing it and I decide to do it too, you better not come for me the way you don't come for them, because that's the reason why we are in a country in peril right now, because everybody's saying, you do it, you do it. You can't do it, I can't do it. Even cancel culture is only applied to the people we don't like. We don't even apply it universally anymore. We'll talk about that later today. When you hear the debate between Charlamagne and Whoopi, what do you think?
I thought Charlamagne was absolutely wrong. And Joe Biden has pardoning power for a reason. It's given to him. So he has the right to do it. And I don't think he was lying. I think he had the full intention of not pardoning his son. But then you have this clown show of people who Trump is selecting to be in his cabinet, and their main objective is to go after his political enemies, and one of their main targets is his son. So I'm like, I wouldn't leave office and leave my son with a big target on his back for all of these crazies. And on top of it, you have Trump, who pardoned Jared Kushner's father and then is now making him the ambassador to France, and he was charged with witness tampering. Like, the absurdity of people like thinking that one side gets the freedom to do things and the other side does have to be above reproach is crazy to me. Like, good on you, Joe Biden. I'm so glad he made the decision to do that.
And the fact that all these appointments just make no sense to anybody but Trump, but it's still being pushed through because everybody on the right is walking the party line. And I understand it's the first time in a long time that they've had this kind of power. You got Mitch McConnell, the former Senate leader, passed out and falling down, basically dying on camera, but they still propping him up there to talk. Do I have immunity as a city councilman from this government coming to get me? I don't know what's going on. He could throw me in jail, right?
Well, Gavin Newsom's, trying to gather funds so he can continue to sue the federal government if they try to come to California and infringe on people's rights. So
Gavin,
we'll see.
Call me. TikTok, do your thing. All right, enough with you. Let's move on. All right, this news story has captivated the world. The UnitedHealthcare CEO was murdered in New York City in broad daylight, right in Midtown, where we be at. Okay, I don't be at that hotel, but I'm down the street. Well, he was murdered. His name was Brian Thompson, and he was gunned down near the Hilton Hotel in Midtown. I've stayed at this hotel many times. Great room service, crazy getting to the rooms, nice little restaurant there. Well, anyway, he was killed right there in Midtown, New York City, and the suspect immediately fled the state. Now, he left walking away with a mask on and a backpack, and then hopped on a bike and then drove off towards Central Park. Now, NYPD officials launched a manhunt and released the chilling photos and a $10,000 reward. You may have seen this. Take a look. This is the suspect right here. And this is what they had put out first. Of course, by now you've seen him. We've seen the video. That top right box was the actual video of him walking up on him from behind, shooting him. The man didn't even know he was getting ready to die. Well, as the news went national, so did the alleged practices of UHC, UnitedHealthcare worker, and its CEO. Now, before his murder, Brian Thompson was under investigation by the Department of Justice for insider trading. And a little over a year ago, UnitedHealthcare was also sued by the estates of 2 deceased UHC patients, alleging that the insurer used an AI program to deny and override doctor-approved claims for sick and elderly patients. Now, I will say as a full disclaimer, we have Healthcare Unlocked, and one of our providers. Mm-hmm. One of our providers is UnitedHealthcare. And this is one of the providers that we use in order to help low-income families get access to quality care. And so this hit really close to us because we're, in that system. But we also know, going through our own experiences, that this industry is shady. I recently posted a video saying that I was going to sue one of our partners. And in case you were somewhere asleep or shopping or at the Centurion Lounge, take a look. Listen, I know that everybody says I've evolved and I've grown, and yes, I've done a lot of work. I'm sober, I'm in therapy, and I'm just not wanting to go viral all the time. But I also don't want people to think I'm soft. So if somebody screwed me out of $5.28 million, how should I handle that? Let me know. Asking for a friend. Well, we realize it's a little over $6 million, so let me just correct that. But either way, now we have to sue this company, and we haven't put their name out there yet or put out exactly what they did. But we know that shady stuff does exist in these health insurance companies because this company was valued at $450 billion. This man was a CEO of a $450 billion company. My company is only valued at $50 million, moving towards a $65 million valuation. But I take security, and I'm telling you, the type of security I would have if my company's worth $450 billion, I'd have Secret Service men in black. They'd be waiting at every angle of every entrance to get you if you tried me. He was just walking down the street willy-nilly. That's a word that he used. Well, the lawsuit that I was telling you about for the elderly patients claimed that UnitedHealthcare knew that the program was mass denying claims and did nothing to fix it. Now, UnitedHealthcare has denied 1/3 of the claims filed, more than most insurers. And these reports only further the speculation that Brian Thompson's murder was personal. Now, I'll stop and say, when I saw this go down, a couple of things went through my mind. First, I thought, this world is really crazy. Like somebody can walk up on you, broad daylight, in front of people in New York City. If you've never been in New York, there's people everywhere, with a gun and a silencer, kill you and walk away. The other thing, I thought that if he was on Grindr, you would have probably hooked up with him and he would have killed you because that's your type. And I think it's also important to note, Rob has made the murderer his screensaver on his computer.
A shirtless photo.
Oh my God.
that I sent to him, by the way.
I already had it.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, like when you look at this whole scenario playing out, was it chilling for you guys?
For sure. That's so scary. But I feel like at the same time, he's like the modern day, like Robin Hood, because there is something I do feel like that needs to change with all insurances, healthcare, auto, building insurance, everything.
Yeah, it's scary. Like I don't in any way, shape, or form. I'm not celebrating the death of anyone. Like any innocent civilian should not be gunned down in the street, no matter, they should have their day in court. But yeah, I think this has been polarizing too, because he's an attractive guy. But it is the way this healthcare industry is run is terrible. People are constantly dying or in pain or don't get the access to the medical attention they actually need, but they're paying into an insurance plan, which is crazy.
Yeah. Well, this looked very personal. Now, especially once the New York Police Department called the incident a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack, and that shell casings were found at the scene, they had the engraved words "deny, depose, and defend." All of these words that are associated with people who are unfairly treated by their insurance companies. Then photos dropped of the suspect smiling. He was found at a Starbucks. Take a look. This was him smiling. I think it was the smile that captivated Rob. It's not funny, but it's, Remember, I'm from Stockton, California, which is home of Prison Bay or Jail Bay. You know Bay I'm talking about. Jeremy Meeks.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look. This is Jeremy Meeks. He's from Stockton, California.
Stockton.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, get into it.
What a hometown hero.
This is having somewhat of a effect on people like Rob. Well, now the NYPD found a backpack in Central Park believed to belong to the suspect. However, forensics said it only contained a Tommy Hilfiger jacket and Monopoly money. Now, clearly he's using all these different, he's a smart kid. The guy has a bachelor's, a master's. I mean, he's well educated. I went to his Twitter. He's one of those valedictorian. He's one of those people that is hyper vigilant about what he believes and is very like one of those people that addresses conspiracy theories and all those type of things. When you looked at kind of this all unfolding in the Tommy Hilfiger jacket with the Monopoly money and all that, what do you think?
I feel like this feels out of a Batman movie, and he's a smart kid. He comes from a really great family, and I read his like almost 250-word manifesto. I don't know if we're gonna get to that, but that's really crazy because his mom like basically deteriorated, and he blames UnitedHealthcare.
But talk about what was in the manifesto, because I haven't seen it.
Basically his mom had like back problems. She spent like hundreds of thousands of dollars on a surgery that they said that they would cover. They ended up not covering it, and then they kept giving her stuff that actually made her worse and changing the deductible rates and all this stuff. And so he basically just said like, we have to he was the CEO, but I have to be my own CEO of my life. And he mentions like Martin Luther King and Gandhi, and was like, they said nonviolence is a thing, but like we can't continue, to like support this type of like capitalism and these type of companies. And so he basically stood on business and was like, I'm not apologizing for what I did.
And he's only 26 years old.
Yeah, he's young.
Now, what is this? He's supposed to be releasing a YouTube video?
Yes. Today or tomorrow. I don't know when it's dropping, but it was on his YouTube. There was a countdown clock, but I don't know if the police are trying to take that off. So stand by.
Well, listen, 2 days into the NYPD manhunt, the FBI joined in and offered $50,000. Now, let me just bring this to a head. He was found in a McDonald's hanging out. I guess there was an issue with his ID. Well, they found the alleged gun,
Allegedly.
with the silencer, the manifesto, the whatever, all the things. They found all of the things on him. What I was concerned about, they even found these fake IDs that he used to stay at the hostel that he was out. I never thought for a minute he would get away. There's too many cameras these days. It's just, there's too much, right? Why was he using an ID at McDonald's?
That's what I'm saying.
It feels like he wanted to get
That's what they
caught
say.
so that he can get the message out and so that people can continue having this conversation. It really does. Like, if he was smart enough to get away with a crime in New York and then he allowed himself to be put in a situation where he was found just sitting at McDonald's, it almost feels like he was trying to get
And so now this makes him a martyr.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now, he was caught in Pennsylvania at the McDonald's. Here's a photo of him eating right before his arrest. Craziness. Now, an employee and customer had tipped off the police who arrested the 26-year-old. His name, again, is Luigi Mangione. Now, police also recovered a semiotic pistol with what appeared to be a 3D printed loaded receiver with a metal slide and silencer, plus written admissions about the crime. Lewis also was charged with the murder of the UnitedHealthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, and new mugshots have been released. Take a look at his mugshot. It's not going to rise to the level of jailbait. But, again, he made it to Rob's screensaver. During his first hearing in Pennsylvania, he told a judge that he had no drug or mental illness issues, that he was also found with $8,000 US dollars in it and $2,000 in foreign currency, but said he didn't know where the money came from, that it might have been planted on him. And so now there's that conspiracy theory. Things got more interesting when the Mangione family released their statement shared by Luigi's reported cousin, Nino Mangione, who is also a Maryland state delegate. Take a look. Unfortunately, we cannot comment on news reports regarding Luigi Mangione. We only know what we have read in the media. Our family is shocked and devastated by Luigi's arrest. We offer our prayers to the family of Brian Thompson, and we ask people to pray for all involved. We are devastated by this news. I mean, this country is going to hell. When you think about the prices of healthcare, when you think about the issues related to the immigration problems that we have, and the fact that we have just nonstop hatred online from our leaders every single day, that does create a culture where people go out and do these type of things. You never really think about your safety when you're out there until you really pay attention to stuff like this. Do you think about your safety ever? Do you guys think
all
about
the
that?
time? All the time. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. Even I'll be sitting in church and I'm like, oh my God, someone can just come here. And I always am thinking real dark stuff, which I need to stop because I don't want to manifest that.
But I think it's important that we're constantly aware of our surroundings, because we do live in a time where people walk into schools or grocery stores or movie theaters and shoot them up because they have issues, So it's we do have to constantly be aware. So I do think about it constantly, and I'm aware of what's going on around me. I pay attention to my surroundings.
But do you also pay attention to the fact that, in terms of proximity, we're close and you are exposed?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember the days we could walk down Hollywood Boulevard and have a good time. Walking? Yeah, right. Because it can go down at any moment. Interestingly, like you, I was just thinking, with city council, you go out to churches and you go out and you're in community dealing with stuff. You have to think about your safety because now you're involved with people's safety and people's issues that they feel may or may not be changing, and people can go rogue and do things. So safety is definitely a part of my daily thought. I mean, I send my prayers and condolences to the CEO's family who had to go through an unfortunate thing, and for it to be played over and over and over again on TV is also bad and sad to watch. But this is also a reminder to people out there taking advantage of people. I mean, people get to a breaking point, especially when they've lost everything or they've lost somebody close to them, where they feel hopeless and it's like, I have nothing to live for. This young man is 26 years old, educated, had a long life ahead of him, and now, he's getting ready to go through a very public process.
Yeah, because if you think about it, it's 2 lives lost. Both of them, their lives are over. And I feel bad. I'm I hope something changes, because you think of how many school shootings have there been, and there's still no gun control or any type of thing. So I'm how many CEOs are going to have to die or whatever for healthcare?
How many people make money off of pharma, and how many people make money off of guns? I mean, why do you think the United States has so much money? Is because we sell weapons all over the world. That don't even get me started with that conversation. Right. All right. Well, anyway, bye. Rob, can you take him off your screensaver?
He's not my screensaver
today. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are also in the news. This Wicked movie, I have not seen it. Somebody wanted to go on a date to go see it. I'm not a movie person in the theaters because I fall asleep. I'm at that age where and then if there's a movie that has kids that come to see it, I don't want to have to go to Rule 13R and tell you to put a muzzle on your little kid. Some of you parents out there, I was traveling yesterday, and it's been a long time since I've traveled coach. So I don't want to sound too removed from the ground by saying this, but it's been a long time. It's a lot going on back there. Kids everywhere, people climbing over the seats. So I won't be back, but I will say that I don't go to movies where there are lots of children, because they're screaming and acting out. And this Wicked movie has you all acting crazy. I don't even know the storyline behind it, but everybody's saying how phenomenal it is, how beautiful it is. Y'all done put green paint on Miss Erivo. So, you know, she's technically still a black actress in the movie, but she's a green actress nonetheless. Well, Wicked stars Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo have not only been trending over their whimsical performances in the new adaptation of the Broadway musical, but over their dramatic weight loss. Now, fans online began reporting dramatic images of Ariana and Cynthia even before Wicked filming began in 2022 versus them at the movie's premiere last month. Now, listen, I'm going to show you a photo of this, and then we're going to weigh in on it. Okay, so here's a photo of them before and after. Okay. Jesus. It is so dramatic. Okay, now, let me first start by saying that we never know what people are going through. So I want to first start by saying that I'm not going to add to shaming them. I think they're both beautiful young women. I have to say, Cynthia, I have seen you out and about, and you know where I've seen you. I'm going to leave it at that. You are phenomenally talented. I have been sleeping on you. I knew you could sing, and I knew you were a good actress, but baby, y'all got to put some respect. We have to put some respect on Cynthia Erivo's name, and we need to elevate her name in the same conversations we're having with the, I'll put it out there, you can have an opinion about it, but the Viola Davises of it. I mean, Viola she stand on her own stool. She ain't sharing it with nobody else, maybe Meryl Streep. But Cynthia is up there in terms of acting chops and vocals. I've been watching on YouTube all her performances, performing with symphonies, whatever. The girl can sing. I might go to the movie just to hear her sing, oh, whatever. That's probably it. I'm going to walk out. But I'm not going to shame them for their photos. I've had my own past with Ariana fans. Y'all already know me. I'm not even going to go down there, where I have body shamed Ariana in the past, and it was somewhat misogynistic. Is that the right word? You know, my opponent used it wrong.
Misogyny.
But I won't do that because I don't know what's going on. And, you know, I've done Ozempic and Mounjaro. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it's stress. I don't know. Life is life. And people are going through things right now. They both are still very beautiful. Mm-hmm. But I haven't seen Cynthia in person in a long time, so I don't know how drastically different she looks. But at the end of the day, I ain't going to go there. And I don't think it's fair. And the thing that Hollywood Unlocked gets a lot of attacks about are the comments that you all make. I get attacked by celebrities on a daily basis because of the comments. They think when we post something that we're the reason why you all are saying what you're saying. We're simply just posting what's out there and people say what they say. So I'm going to ask you all to just be a little kinder. You're not going to listen to me because y'all attack me too. But now, when you looked at the before and after, put the before and after back up. When you see the before and after, is there a reason to be concerned?
I don't know if there's reason to be concerned. I think that they just came off of shooting a 2-part movie, which was insanely taxing on their bodies. They were swinging from harnesses, wearing corsets. They then went on a massive press tour, traveling the world in different countries every other day. Like, these are 2 extremely beautiful, talented women, and I don't think that we should be judging them for their appearance. We should be, like, giving them credit for their talents.
And I feel like they were already very small and petite to begin with. It's not like it was, like, too drastic of a change. I mean, they are, you know, more thin now, but
Cynthia is tall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was
Ariana
standing
is.
behind me at a party, so I know exactly how tall she is, her and her friend. But nonetheless, she was there and stunningly beautiful. I love a woman who, especially a black woman, who can just shave her hair in full confidence, because I am not my hair. You should be able to do whatever you want with your hair. And she's beautiful and super talented. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, a grueling schedule, 2 movies. Mm-hmm. Well, in a new interview with French content creator Sally, Ariana emotionally responded to criticism, leaving Cynthia to hold her hand. Listen.
So overwhelming for women to always look perfect. How do you deal with that?
My goodness. Yeah. I'm not gonna. It's okay. It's okay. It's just. It's a good question.
Really good question.
Thank you.
Because you know, I've been kind of doing this in front of the public and kind of been, you know, a specimen in a petri dish really since I was 16 or 17, you know? So I've heard every version of it, of what's wrong with me. And then you fix it, and then it's wrong for different reasons. And then, but that's everything from, you know, even just the simplest thing, your appearance, you know, that you're young and you're hearing all kinds of things. It's hard to protect yourself from that noise. And I think it's something that is uncomfortable no matter what scale you're experiencing it on. Even if you go to Thanksgiving dinner and someone's granny says, oh my God, you look skinnier, what happened? Or you look heavier, what happened? It's like, that is something that is uncomfortable and horrible no matter where it's happening, no matter the scale it's happening on. And I think in today's society, there's a comfortability that we shouldn't have at all. Commenting on others' looks, appearance, what they think is going on behind the scenes, or health, or how they present themselves. You know, there's a comfortability that people have commenting on that I think is really dangerous. And I think it's dangerous for all parties involved. I'm really lucky to have the support system that I have, and to just know and trust that I'm beautiful, you know. Thank you.
You are.
And so are you.
Thank
and
you.
so are you. But I do know what the pressure of that noise feels like. It's been a resident in my life since I was 17. And I just don't invite it in anymore. It's not welcome. I have work to do. I have a life to live. I have friends to love on. I have so much love. And it's not invited, so I don't leave space for it anymore.
I remember when I started losing weight, you all were saying, not all of you, but some people were saying, oh, he has HIV. Oh, he's on crack. Oh, yeah. Do you remember? They were saying the craziest things. Nah, I had surgery and got my life together and still keeping my weight off, by the way. Just, you know, although I am 9 pounds. Figured out.
Some jelly beans.
Right. That's the jelly belly, honey.
Bitch, get one surgery.
What flavor was that?
Popcorn flavor one.
Ooh.
It's good. No, I don't think it's fair to comment on their bodies, right? I think it is what it is. Now, we do live in a world where some of you guys are getting a little too skinny. I saw Kelly Clarkson on her show. By the way, Kelly, I thought you were cute, plump. You look like that little turkey that you will stick the little pin in. Kelly's personality makes her pretty no matter what she does. She's just bubbly. I mean, you talk a lot, but so do I. I think we'd be great friends, but like only on the phone. But I love Kelly Clarkson. I actually check her out when I can, but she looks great now. Christina Aguilera. She looks really good. She's getting a little kind of thin, but again, whatever makes you feel happy and whatever makes you healthy, do that. I won't comment on that. But when you see it, do you think it's unfair that people are commenting?
1,000,000%. And I feel like I want to shout out the journalist. I don't know her name, but the reporter worded it so perfectly. And I feel like a lot of people have been commenting on it because the Wicked rollout has been so long. And people in the comments like, they're so skinny, they're so skinny. And how she worded it was very impactful and very necessary. And I'm happy that Ariana answered it so beautifully. And I mean, me too. Even I see in the comments here, people are talking about, is Marina pregnant? That is so disrespectful.
What?
Swear.
Speaking of social, because I'm hearing Kaylin, my makeup artist to the left, talking. Why are you so ghetto on you're so gangster? Like you are a
my God.
You are. She walks in here so professional, so ha ha ha. She get on her Instagram and she's like, if you bitches don't send my wife a Cash App, I'm coming to get you.
That's
right?
the real Kaylin.
And I'm like, well, I love it. I'm from Stockton, so I love it. You know, she's literally a Stocktonian in the streets in West Hollywood in the studio. No, yeah, I think it's rude to comment on people's bodies like that. Now, I will tell you, me and Rob,
oh Lord,
we do have a former friend who posts his body all the time.
I knew this was going here.
And there are times where we do screenshot it, we do send it to each other in a private group chat with just emojis. There's different emojis every time because we are sick of it, but neither one of us wants to unfollow him because we don't want to send him into a spiraling crisis. But at the same time, we both are over seeing him and his body, right?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a third person be like, hey?
No. We don't even, no. But yeah, I also want to say that this has been a long rollout. And to whoever is responsible for it, we are sick of it. And I am tired of them crying in every damn interview. I don't know what this movie did to them. They had some kind of spiritual awakening. I don't know if they did ayahuasca, but whatever it has done to their spirits and souls, every question they ask, they break into a whole outcry. I'm really thinking there's like, I don't want to say mental health issues, but there's definitely a need for an evaluation post-shooting to understand like what is the onset of all this chaos.
You have to watch the movie. And if you understand the story of what the story's about, then it'll make a little bit more sense.
Okay, for those watching who've yet to spend the $19.99 to go to a theater, because that's probably how much inflation has driven up our costs, what is it exactly that happens that makes them cry in every interview? Like, you know, you're going to do the interview, you know, you're going to get questions. Do you cry in every interview?
I don't think they should be crying in every interview, but I do think they formed a very, very close bond over the filming of this 2-part movie.
They were friends before.
Yeah, but I think working on this film together probably made them that much closer.
They put each other's names on each other's body tattoos too.
Yeah, and they both have like together like 6 matching tattoos.
Yeah, and the story it's an intense story. It's good.
What's the story?
I saw it twice.
It's the foundation story of how
the prequel
the prequel to The Wizard of Oz and how they became who they are.
It's basically like enemies turn like sisters that get torn. Like, it's a whole thing. And I hated the Broadway. I remember going to Girl Scouts and singing, and I fell asleep. But the movie's done. You should watch it. You like the soundtrack.
It's literally telling a story of how society is like, I'm gonna make in order for us to unite, we have to have a common enemy, and the easiest way to pick somebody to be an enemy is because they're different, and she's different because her skin is a different color.
So as Black people, we get that, right? Even in my quest to become elected, I'm already being faced with some resistance because of what I believe optics, right? But they gonna learn quickly that I'm a brilliant businessman and I am a fearless advocate. But every interview, I mean, like, I'm working on my story, turning my story into a movie. I do get choked up. I did get choked up when I saw it the first time. But after you've shown about 20 times, I'm not gonna cry every time. May I cry at the premiere? Probably. But like 10 interviews in, nah, son.
It's a lot. It's a lot of emotions.
They have a really close bond. Would you get matching tattoos with me? Like, put my name on your body?
No.
No.
Why?
Why?
First of all, you would not get my name tattooed on you.
Definitely
So
not.
let's
But
not
if I
play
did,
that.
would you?
A symbol. A best friend symbol.
Yeah, like, no, what if me, you, and Calvin, and all our friends in the shit show chat, we all got each other's names
Like a
tattooed?
shit emoji tattoo?
Yeah, no, definitely
Oh my God.
not. All right. Well, listen, congratulations on a successful movie. And this one right here, again, let me go ahead and give you because Ariana, I'm not leaving you out to be shady. We already know you can sing. You're the baby Mariah, even if you don't want to accept that, but that is what it is. But this one right here, Cynthia, you are special. Maybe you could perform at the Impact Awards. Imagine that. All right. Goodbye. All right. Well, congratulations to the game. He's a new father. Sorry, the wrong button. First of all, Shanice, you know I love you. Hey, Shanice, she's so beautiful. She came to my birthday party last year. I don't know if you remember. She was there.
She's a baddie.
She came. I forgot what she.
Oh yeah.
She came. I came with another friend. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, who knew that Evelyn Lozada's daughter Shanice was hooking up with the game? Well, anyway, they announced that they have a new baby. Now, although we're all excited for it, there is some shade here because back in June, Evelyn's daughter Shanice announced that she was expecting her first child, but she didn't reveal who the father was. But then social media streets swore up and down it was game because, you know, you guys are the FBI, which is interesting because his ex and his child's mother, Tiffany Cambridge, who was a friend of Evelyn Lozada's, take a look. This is Tiffany holding Evelyn's stomach when she was pregnant before. And then Shanice is there with Shani. Well, this industry's small. People are friends. I don't see anything wrong with that because she is not beholden to his baby mom. And Tiffany's, I love Tiffany. I haven't seen her in a long time, but you know, I'm not gonna say we're friends as if we hang out all the time, but like I love her. She loves me. When she sees me, it's all love. And I'm cool with Game, even though his shady ass hasn't come to the show. You know, but either way, people fall in love or people have situations and they're all grown. And if it's consenting, who cares? Well, Shanice and Evelyn were called out on social media for betraying Tiffany, which is crazy. But Evelyn called Cap on the rumors and said this. Take a look. If I was in a photo with somebody 10, 15 years ago, it doesn't mean that we were friends. It doesn't mean that we were best friends. It doesn't mean that we dated. You can be in a photo with somebody or you can share space with somebody, and it's not what people make it out to be, which is true. But it could also be true that you knew your daughter was dating the game or at least hooking up with him. And again, I don't think she should have to go online and defend what her daughter's doing as a grown-ass woman. This is a grown-ass, beautiful woman. I first saw Shanice years ago in Miami when me and Floyd were coming out of the Fontainebleau, and she was coming into the Fontainebleau. And I remember seeing her, and I remember saying to Floyd, like, this girl's stunning. I didn't even know she was Evelyn's daughter. And Evelyn, who I know, and who's a friend of the show, you know, she's grown and her daughter's grown. So I don't know. Do you think people should have an opinion about expecting that she's loyal to somebody's baby mom?
No. And I'm also a person who, which I think we disagree on. I'm a person who doesn't believe in holding ownership over somebody who I dated in the past. Like, if that relationship is run its course, it's run its course. And if that person and someone else I know fall in love, who am I to stop a relationship from blossoming?
You're saying we disagree?
Yeah.
Well, you know we just. So you mean to tell me if one of my exes 10 years later, me and my ex now have been broken up for 9 years, you ended up seeing him and wanting to be with him?
No. See, I wouldn't do it because I know how you feel about it. So, but for me, like I'm
But
not
if you knew that I didn't care, would you think it would be okay?
If you didn't care, if you were like, oh, a person who doesn't care like that, then sure. Like, if we meet 10 years down the line.
Even if you're best friends with the person's ex, it's not weird to you?
No. I've had a friend hook me up with their ex. They were like, I think you guys are more suited for each other than we were.
I mean, I'm also somebody who has been involved with somebody who's in a relationship. So, I mean, look, we all had a time.
Yeah.
It's just weird for me because everyone's commenting on Shanice like she's an 18-year-old girl and she's in her 30s.
Because she's Evelyn's daughter.
She's a daughter.
It's that daughter. It's like
daughter.
Again, if I said I was dating this young boy, they would say he's dating a kid, right? So like that's why you have to be very careful with your words. Once you say this is Evelyn's daughter, you think daughter. Oh, the daughter.
Yeah.
That's a grown-ass woman. Okay. And matter of fact, Evelyn got a kid younger than her. She had that baby. Well, 2 months after Shanice's pregnancy news, the game revealed that he was expecting another child, but he did not confirm the mother either. And again, social media, we ain't stupid. A few days ago, Shanice gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, and his presumed father shared news on social media. Look at who the presumed father was. It was a game. By the way, let me give you a round of applause. Baby's so cute. But why y'all lie? I just want to push the mom. Congratulations on the baby. Well, Evelyn Lozada, who's now a grandmother.
Bitch, you tried it.
Hey, Granny. You're a beautiful granny, though. I called Evelyn the other day. She know I love her. She posted the baby, too. Look. And she said, this little blue-eyed angel made me a grandma, and I'm forever grateful. You brought so much joy into my life that words cannot explain. I love you more than anything, Blaze Taylor. It's like she gets another kid, but gets to send it home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like Gucci and Chanel. Well, meanwhile, Shanice shared a photo of her sitting on the game's lap. Look. So now, are they a thing? They're a couple?
So here's...
What are people saying?
I don't want to... Okay, this is what people are saying.
We are only reporting what people are saying.
Okay, we're only reporting what people are saying. They're mad. The people are mad because the game only posted the baby and not Shanice.
Bling, bling, bling. Bitches is mad.
And Shanice posted the man. But they were like, game, why don't you claim Shanice? Because clearly she's on your lap. So they're like, why are you posting the baby but not the mom? So people are upset about that. Which I'm like, ugh.
Jason Tatum has a baby by Ella May, and he ain't posted her or the baby.
But they both don't. They don't even follow each other on Instagram. Ella May and Jason Tatum. That's what the streets say. Like, they keep their shit real under wraps.
Yeah, I'm not. There'll be no Jason Tatum hate over here.
No.
Everybody know I love Jason Tatum. I told Joyner Lucas I want to go to the Boston Celtics game wearing matching outfits, sitting courtside to support Jason.
Y'all got the match.
Yeah, y'all bought the outfits, right?
It's Fashion Nova.
Yeah.
I can wear that on my way to the Centurion Lounge.
Yes.
Right, so that way I can still have the balance. Congratulations to both of you. The baby's cute. Shanice, you are everything. And Evelyn, you know you're everything too.
Yep.
All right. Bye-bye. Oh, I have to say, I hung out with Odell Beckham in Miami. And I want to bring that up because we have a history and where, you know, we didn't see eye to eye, and he let me know how he felt in a very aggressive way, and I talked about whatever. But I have to say, it feels so good to be able to work through drama. He was very accommodating to me and my friend who came over to where he and his friends were. Great energy. He seems happy, healthy. And I just want to say, Odell, thank you for being open to allowing us in your space and just moving forward. It feels good to just, as you grow up and grow through things, to just get on the other side of it. I'm so happy that he's happy and successful. And I didn't get to tell him congratulations on being a dad and all that, because we were just hanging out and all getting along, whatever. But he's been we're connected again. So shout out to you, Odell. All right. Enough about Odell and enough about that couple that we were just talking about. Let's talk about another couple. I saw this yesterday. Actually, I ain't even going to say who sent it to me, but somebody out there sent it to me. You know who you are. You're messy because you did this because you knew I was going to talk about it. August Alsina and his
allegedly
friend Zoo are getting a little cozy, but I see it a little differently. Some of you look at life through rose-colored lenses. I see life as a checkerboard and a chessboard, and I'd be like, something don't add up all the time. And if Wendy Williams was here, she would be going. So I'm just going to report what I saw and report what I've heard and then think about this and just kind of throw this out there because, you know, and I'm not saying that anybody here is
allegedly
in the LGBTQ plus community. But what I will say is in the LGBTQ plus AI community, y'all be doing some stunts to get everybody talking. And I may have caught a stunt. So I'm going to just talk about it. Okay. August Alsina and his rumored boyfriend, Zoo, got real cozy after breakup rumors. Now, I didn't even know because I've been so immersed in leading my city and figuring out all the different ways of bringing business and this and that and flying around and having my great life at the Art Basel that I didn't even know that there were alleged breakup rumors of a relationship that has yet to be confirmed by both of them online. There was the one video where he was on MTV on a show wrapping up and he talked about finding love and this and that, and then Zoo walked in and we all went crazy. And I ain't gonna lie, I went to Zoo and I went down every single photo on his Instagram and I have liked every single photo. You know that person who wants to be seen? Yeah. Zoo knows I have liked it all. It has been a zoo over there. Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, I have liked it all. Zoo is a very attractive guy. He's attractive, and he came out of nowhere. This is somebody that I tend to see every thought that lives on Instagram. I never saw Zoo coming or going. Well, we also never saw August Alsina coming and going from anywhere other than Jada and Will's house. And then come to find out after they talked about the what was it? The entanglement. He just was so scarred that he just ran into the arms allegedly of this man. Well, they then entered into a business together, which I thought, okay, this is interesting. This must be a marketing thing to like market this because they have bath products or body products or whatever, cologne or whatever. They have products. And, you know, they know creative marketing. If you start acting like you're just, knowing that, we're going to go buy it. Okay, well, they made headlines way back in August when August was in that entanglement, like I said, with Jada Pinkett. And that entanglement was back in 2022. In 2022, his love life made headlines again when he believed he came out on that show, The Surreal Life, like I just told you. Now, in his final green screen interview, he was joined by another man. I just told you. Here's the audio. Listen.
It's been a year from filming Surreal Life, and oddly, my life has become even more surreal. My life has kind of changed drastically, and this show has kind of been a catalyst to that because of the fact that I had so much fear going into this journey, so much fear that, I can feel my hand shaking right now because of being put outside of my comfort zone. You and Susie doesn't work for me.
Are you that freaked out?
Will never work for me. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to be able to use my voice and share my voice on a platform like this and allow other people to see themselves through me. pain is subjective, so everybody experiences it in their own way. And trauma shapes people. Fear has been the greatest tool of teaching for me in so many ways. And this experience has taught me love in so many different forms and facets. I would like a love that feels limitless. And then, what do you know? Love showed up, but in a new way. I want to share that and really honor the person that I love and that loves me back and teaching me so much about love and healing. I want to do that in front of the world because it defies all the constructs that one would say love is supposed to be or love should look like.
You caught me mid Jelly Belly. First of all, that clip made me emotional when I saw it play it on TV for many reasons. One, I was mad that August met him first. But I was also happy that August is able to live in his truth because ultimately, for those in the public eye, it is really hard to live your true authentic self. You have the agencies and managers, putting you in a box of what you should look like and how you should act and who you should hang with and who you shouldn't talk to and how you should do that. You become a product. So you become trapped to that. Then when you're on the internet, y'all be in the comments talking crazy. And then platforms like Hollywood Unlocked and all of us posting things in real life time that these are real life people that we're talking about. So I want to be sensitive to the fact that coming out is a difficult, sensitive process for a lot of people. And to do it on such a public platform is amazing. August had messaged me before that because I had talked to him about coming on the show, and he was like, I do want to come on the show at some point, but you were really mean to me. Side note, I also forgot I ran into Giselle Bryant from Housewives of Potomac, and I love Giselle, and I was like, oh my God, Giselle, and she goes, you were so ruthless to me. There were other iterations of Jason. I don't know. It could have been gagging Jason, fat Jason. I don't know. But with this, I want to be sensitive because August did tell me before that like my words hurt him. And so I don't want to hurt him. So I will say that it's great that if you all are loving each other and being an example of living in your truth, hats off to all of you. Now, when he later introduced this guy, Zoo, to his folks, he said that he was a fellow artist, and then they became business partners together. So some drew speculation that maybe it was a business move. Well, in our community, 6 months is like a lifetime. Well, 2 years later, he is yet to confirm that this is his friend, brother, lover, or business partner. So either way, if they have lasted 2 years, I mean, this is damn near like an anciency, whatever. This is like a lifetime movie. Well, let me show you photos of them together. This is them on a yacht that Zoo probably looking at all the times I don't like photos on his Instagram. And then the right photo is probably a photo of him with some Savage Fenty lip balm because the lips is popping. Well, August continued to keep people guessing after appearing on Nick Cannon's Council Culture show where he explained his love for another man. Listen.
You talked about your love for another man. And I know that when we talk about this, we help others. What has opening your heart done for you?
To be honest with you, bro, it's not even me that's opening my heart. It's that power that's higher than myself. I always say that the greatest gift that God could have ever given me was exposure. To expose me to so many different kinds of people, places, things. So it's like when people want you to define yourself as whether you're gay, straight, bisexual, or whatever, as you were just talking about, love is like much more complex than that and has much more depth. So for me, I'm just the kind of person that's like, because love is a language, I'm fluent in love when it speaks to me.
Why do us as humans have to have such direct answers or definitions of like, are you straight? Are you like, why or do you love her? Why do you got so many baby mamas? Like, no, but I mean, like,
had to work that part.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, because everybody says, oh, you can't love that woman if you are not in a traditional one-on-one relationship with her, and therefore now I don't love the mothers of my children because I don't define it the way that you define it.
You can't take it personal because we haven't all been exposed to the same thing. People have a very monolithic way of viewing.
You want to burn the internet down? Add me to that relationship, baby. Because polyamory is not out the window for me. Now that I'm elected, maybe it is. I don't know. But when you hear this love story or this alleged love story, what do you think? Do you think he's like still afraid to come all the way out? Do you feel like he should just come out? What?
Yeah, I feel like. I feel like he is still tiptoeing around it a little bit because there's not been like a definitive like statement of it. But that's fine. Like I think people are entitled to like some level of privacy in their life, and even though you're a public figure, like you don't have to share every single thing about your life. So if he wants to like, and again, like. This is another conversation that we have all the time. Like straight people don't have to have a coming out conversation or tell the world they're straight. And I don't think people who are in non-traditional relationships owe anybody a conversation about the structure of their private relationships.
I will say whatever his sexual orientation is, for me, it's just like, I feel like the fact that people know about every entanglement that August Alsina has had instead of his music, I'm like, go back into the music if he still wants to make that anymore. But it's like,
I would love to hear August Alsina come out with an album that's popular. I did see him recently post something that he did some music, but again, this is overshadowing the music.
Yes.
I do feel like he could be performing at Prides, global Prides. I mean, you think about the market, there's so much that he could be doing, and hopefully he has a team that helps him with that. Well, listen, with all of that said, a few weeks ago, unbeknownst to me, there were rumors that they had allegedly broke up. Fans saw that both men started deleting photos of each other off their social media. Now, we all know that's how it goes down. It starts with that. Now, here's where I have to start saying I had to analyze this next move to see what's really happening. They also unfollowed each other, so they're not even following each other. And Zoo, who was invited to the public from August, just came out of nowhere, who everybody says is a really sweet guy, seemingly shut down rumors by posting this photo. Now take a look. This is the first time we've ever seen a photo of them laying down together in this way. And it's hot.
Ooh.
But he didn't tag August, and August didn't post it either. So I'm thinking, is this a Hugo Alamonte part 2?
Oh, Lord.
Where he's now like, let me go ahead and, because he just posted it and there hasn't been anything else. I'm waiting to see refollows. I'm willing to see more photos. I'm willing to see something, or I'm willing to invite them on the Jason Lee show together, like I had Blueface and Krishan, and have a whole conversation. I think that would be important, like powerful, because I could celebrate them and invite myself into their entanglement in public. And August would definitely get a Mandingo Hall of Fame award, by the way. It's all out there. I don't know. I just pray that if it doesn't work out, first of all, I hope that it's working out. All jokes aside, this is all entertainment, but do your thing, TikTok. I do hope that it works out there together, but I also hope that if it does not work out, that it does not go downhill in any other way. Because we need to go through the rest of this year. We need to get out of 2024 without one more scandal, right?
Please, God.
What do you think? Because you're.
No, I think that would be a great episode of the Jason Lee Show. That needs to happen.
Start by giving them both a hug. In a very public, non-baby oil way.
Yeah.
Right?
No baby oil.
Can you believe that oh, never mind. I looked down. It's on the list. Well, anyway, I hope that you guys are doing well. August, I'll slide in your DMs later today. All right. Neo's on the list today to talk about. First of all, I'm not going to make this an apology show, but Neo, I'm sorry. I pissed Neo off. Remember? Mm-hmm. I pissed Neo off. I think he's somewhat mad at me, but Neo's a great guy. I just had a moment in Miami where I reacted to, whatever. But I'm good if you're good. even though you tell me to go fuck myself. Well, Neo is slamming anyone shaming him over his polyamorous relationship. You know, he's 45 years old, a father of 7 by 3 different women. He's been exploring a relationship change for polyamory to see how he feels about being with multiple women, because he's had relationships with women that did not work out. You know, he was with Minetta Shaw. He had an engagement that didn't work out. And then he was married to Crystal Renee. And then that didn't work out. And, you know, a lot of criticism happened when he got with Crystal, because she was a former stripper. But let's be very clear. He was showing us the type of women that he likes. And Crystal, regardless of her career, is a very solid chick, and she's beautiful and sweet, and in many ways together, when you would see them together, she was a little edgy, he was a little edgy. You know, we know him publicly front facing as this, you know, artist that sings love music, but shit, you know, he was getting probably a little gangster behind the scenes with his girl. Well, either way, they didn't work out, and then he went off to have multiple women. Now he's in a relationship with several women. I'm just gonna cut straight to the chase and show you a photo with Neo and all his girls. So this is him and the 3 women. I think I may have met them in Dubai, or maybe they were 3 other girls. I don't know. But anyway, he has 3 different women. Let me show you a picture of all the girls together by themselves, because they clearly are friends. And they're letting you know, ass out, front out, whatever. It is what it is. But all of that is Neo's. Now, listen, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has been going around the world gathering all of the black men she could find and telling them what she thinks about them. You remember she went on our boy Cam Newton's show, said what she said, then flew over there to Nick Cannon with his 12 kids and had something to say. Well, Dr. Bryant had something to say about Neo on a recent podcast, and it was spicy. Listen.
What is Neo to you, Dr. B?
He's a womanizer. He cheated on his wife, and that's why she left him. He didn't cheat once. He cheated over and over again. He's a womanizer. And now what he's doing is, as a womanizer, he's gaslighting himself and that wife to make it seem like he wants polyamorous, when you never wanted polyamorous from the beginning. You wanted to be married but didn't have the discipline to do it, and your wife left you because she didn't tolerate that shit. Maybe. And so she pivoted from you, and now you're going and he's making these other women pay for the heartbreak that he caused to himself by saying, I want to be polyamorous. That's BS. You want to be married. You don't have the discipline. You don't have the tools to do it. So now you want to make sure you put out into the world, look at me. I want to be polyamorous because I cheated. No, you failed in your marriage. You're effed up, and that's the problem. Now you need to heal from that and not have these self-project your pain onto these women about your messed up decision making. Period.
Can we book Dr. Bryant, please? Shouldn't she be a little nicer, though? No. Do you need to read? Why read somebody like that? If you're a doctor, aren't you trying to help them?
No, but I think this is the tonality that gets through to a certain demographic.
Well, it gets on our platform, clearly. I mean, I love Dr. Bryant's beautiful, smart, all of that. I want her to come here and tell me my issues, and in a very honest way. But I think that I don't know. Maybe it was a little harsh, you know? I think that Neo is in the relationship that best suits him. If you're a man who can't be with one person and you know that, so then go get you 3 or 4 who are down with it. I can't find one. He found 3.
I do not agree with what she said, because she said that he wants a marriage, but he failed at it. I don't think he ever wanted a marriage. I think he wanted it because like social constructs, but really he just wants a lot of girls.
Or maybe he really loved her, but then couldn't deal with the need to have other people.
Correct.
Some of us have desires to be with more than one person. Now, I know like Rob and I, we are hopeless romantics that want to be in a relationship, but then the minute we get in it, it don't work, right? It's y'all's fault, by the way. Just want to put that out there. Well, since Dr. Bryant's comments and others criticizing polyamorous relationships, Neo now has this to say on The Good Dime Show. Listen.
It ain't no secret to anybody that not too long ago I got divorced. I've learned some things since the divorce, and because of the divorce, to be honest with you, it made me realize some things about myself that I kind of had an idea of, but wasn't completely locked into. And now that I am, I realize how much time I wasted just on stupid shit. Like, you've heard a million times that honesty is the best policy.
Right, for sure.
That is the realest in the world. It really and truly is. But the thing is, it's not even so much about being honest with the other person as it is about being honest with yourself. Like the whole concept of, okay, I want this girl. I know that she don't want me to be with nobody but her, but I want other girls too. And can I be honest with myself in regard to this and let her walk away knowing that all I'm gonna do is hurt her, because I'm not gonna be what she want me to be. I'm not gonna be that. I know I'm not gonna be that, but damn, I want her.
Yeah.
Like, can you be mature enough to let that go and understand that the one that you're looking for, the one that is willing to you know, live the lifestyle you want to live or play it the way you want to play it, that person exists.
Yeah.
That person exists. That group of people exists. You just have to be honest with yourself about who you are. If you know that you are not a dude that is going to be faithful to one woman, then don't be with one woman.
Yeah. A lot of women try to like shame you for feeling like that.
Oh, you can't shame me unless I care. And I don't give a like not. I really hope that this podcast goes out to trillions of people, because I so desperately need the world to know how much of a I don't give about what they think, about what they say. Like, I am 100% locked into the reality that this life is mine, and I'm gonna live this the way I want to live it. It ain't got to do with how you feel about it. Your opinion is your own. I ain't saying you ain't entitled to it, but don't feel away if I don't care about what you got to say. Like, in no way, shape, form, or fashion am I trying to disrespect the traditional connection of relationship and marriage and all of that. But the concept of one person for the rest of your life, apply that concept to anything else in life. That doesn't make sense in any other aspect of life except right there. At this point, I am the most honest person that I've ever been. And it makes me realize how much time I wasted lying about dumb shit. Like, when I could have just said up front what it was I wanted, who I am, how I am, whatever the case may be, and then just let the people that rock the way I rock gravitate to me. I've cheated, I've been cheated on, I've been on both sides of that spectrum. And one phrase that kind of kept coming back from like girls that I want to, you know, we break up because I cheated or whatever the case may be, they will always say, you took away my option. And I never used to know what the that meant. Option to do what? But what are you talking about? Like, what no option? You was going to be with me. Like that. Like, I had no idea what that meant. Now I understand what that means. If you can be honest about who you are, how you want it to go down, and then you allow her to either rock with that or not rock with that. Yeah. But if everybody's being honest and she tell you, I don't rock with that, now you have to be honest enough with yourself to go, all right,
you're not the one.
She ain't the one. She ain't the one. All this is going to be is a headache for me later, because I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Get caught.
I'm going to get sloppy. I'm going to get caught. And
he's gonna get
it ain't even worth it at the end of the day. No, I don't care how fine she is. It ain't worth it at the end of the day. I already know where this path is gonna go. So walk the way.
See, I love that. I love a person who can have some self-reflection, go through a marriage, realize that it was important for them to be true to themselves. I don't know that he needed to share it with the world, but maybe that's his way of creating a conversation, because we're having it today. But listen, if you can, Floyd Mayweather said to me, and I will take these words to my grave, you can have as many relationships you can afford. And if he can afford 3 people, so be it. Do you think there's something wrong with it?
No, like I don't think people should be forced into believing they have to be in a traditional relationship. And we see often those traditional relationships don't work out because those people aren't suited for each other, or people want something beyond that. So if you can find happiness in a circumstance where you're all in communication and you all agree with each other to be in a situation with whatever rules you have, then have fun. It's like not my place to judge it.
Same.
Yeah, I agree. Be happy as long as you sign NDAs and make sure that you have like your self covered, because that's a lot.
Yeah,
they can all turn on him and be witnesses.
That's a lot.
Good luck. All right, listen, Johnny, get rid of the thing. Okay, listen. This next conversation I'm going to handle responsibly. There ain't going to be lots of joking. And I'm going to start by saying that if somebody kills me, Jay-Z could have done it. And people are laughing But this is a very serious thing, to the extent that people were warning me in Miami, coming to me, talking to me about how serious this could be, talking about allegations that Jay-Z allegedly stabbed somebody years ago and they got away with it and this and that. People with money do crazy things. And I think that I'm getting credit for a lot of things I haven't done and not giving grace for the things that I have not done. So I want to put that out there. Do I think Jay-Z is going to hire somebody to kill me? Nah. But did we think that UnitedHealthcare CEO would get gunned down in New York City? No. And so I think it's important to put out there that, yeah, there are people who are mad at me for having a conversation about the whispers that we've all been hearing. Let's go ahead and put up there. Jay-Z is now named in Diddy's lawsuit. Now, I want to start by saying that I have a job to do regardless of who it is. I just don't think we've ever been in a place where we thought that the job would entail us talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce, the two largest stars in our orbit right now, or two of the largest stars. And again, you know, people that the culture regards so high. This man has done a lot, coming from RC Projects, coming to be able to be the mogul that he is, and how much he's given back for getting people out of prison, and with his reform movement, being able to really help move the needle on integrating artists, Black artists, people of color into the NFL, even though it was in the midst of a Colin Kaepernick movement of holding them accountable to treating players like slave trades on the blockchain. You know, Jay-Z has done a lot for the culture, and I want to be very clear. We appreciate that, and we acknowledge his contributions, and we respect it. It doesn't mean that you're never going to be held accountable for things you did or didn't do, or not be discussed in the light that you may not agree with. And I think that's the hard part that that Jay-Z is having with digesting it all. I also ran into people who are very close to him and understand that, you know, within their orbit, people are really unhappy with me. All I can say is that's unfortunate, because I think that when people don't understand what's happening, you pick up the phone and you get on, and you have conversations, regardless of who you are. But if you believe that you're a unicorn that lives on another world that is beyond reproach and unattainable and untouchable, then you sit there and you scoff at people doing their jobs while things start to percolate. You know, we all have been talking for months now about the Diddy lawsuit that uncovered a whole bunch of things. We heard about, allegedly thousands of bottles of baby oil, hundreds of dildos, celebrities that may be caught on tape that have been seized by the federal government. We know that indictments are probably going to come out, and everybody's been speculating who has done what. I went live, bored at home, and during my campaign, saying all the people that I've seen at the Diddy parties: Jay-Z, Beyonce, 50 Cent, not 50 Cent, all these different people. 50 Cent definitely wasn't there. But when I was naming all the celebrities that were there, I wasn't doing that in a way of saying that Jay-Z and Beyonce participated in a dildo throwing contest, nor were they spraying guests down with baby oil. What I said was they were at every party, and every time you saw Jay-Z, you saw Diddy, or Diddy, you saw Jay-Z. But that was at the Diddy parties, not Diddy After Dark, where all this other alleged activity was happening. I've also gone on multiple shows, including Chris Cuomo, Don Lemon, and Piers Morgan, saying that I'm not going to be used as a conduit to take down the culture, because cancel culture and this culture of wanting to destroy people before they have due process, I'm not going to participate in that. But nobody ever pays attention to that. All they see are the headlines where I sit here, cover my face, and tell you what I know about Beyonce and what I've done for them and their family, and the protections and covering that I did as an individual that I'm not required to do, and got no grace for that. That is what I said. And I do realize that in having a conversation with this individual that, you know, Beyonce and Jay-Z's kids are old enough to see what's happening on the internet, and things go viral. And, you know, when we talk here and I say, do your thing, TikTok, it scatters all over social media. So I do get it. And that's why I say all that to say I'm going to be very responsible when I talk through what I'm going to say now. Jay-Z has had lots of rumors over the years, and I will say they are allegations. There were allegations that he had a relationship with Aaliyah when she was a minor. There were allegations that he met Beyonce and got in a relationship with her when she was 16. There were allegations of relationships with him and Foxy Brown. I don't know none of that to be true. I've never validated none of that, nor have I ever even talked about it. But I still am getting attacked for all the things that all of you, the people in the Joe public, are saying. So when you have all of these conversations happening over years, you know, those were all happening at a time where in our community, in our culture, we knew that older men were having sex with younger girls. And it just was a thing that was, to all of you and to all of us, acceptable to the extent that we didn't really take an issue with it legally, and we didn't have social media to promote how disgusting it is. But nonetheless, it's something that everybody knows and doesn't make it okay. Well, what's happening now with some of these people, allegedly, is that things are catching up with them. I want to go on record to say I don't know that Jay-Z was with Aaliyah. I wasn't there. I met Aaliyah. Jay-Z went around. I don't know how old Beyonce was when she was with Jay-Z. I wasn't there. I don't know if Jay-Z actually dated Foxy Brown or not. I wasn't there. But if all of that did happen in today's era where people are going back and looking at where there are statutes of limitations or not, or where they can address issues or not, or where cancel culture and social media can talk or not, that is the world in which we live in now. And that is what's currently happening. So Jay-Z is now the latest successful black man being accused of rape and assault. Now, the other day, social media lost its mind when Tony Busby, the lawyer for Diddy's accusers, amended a civil lawsuit for a woman claiming that she had not only been raped by Diddy, but she was also raped by Jay-Z, allegedly when she was 13 years old. The lawsuit filed by Busby and a Jane Doe back in October was recently amended to add Jay-Z's name as a defendant. I have said from the very beginning, I hate Jane Doe, John Doe cases because I think that when you make a claim against somebody, regardless of what it is and regardless of who they are, they have the right to face their accuser and they have the right to know what they're talking about. When you think of somebody like a Jay-Z or Diddy, these are people who built billion-dollar empires off of really building the culture, who then lose everything because the public hanging of them being found guilty before they get the due process is similar to Trump wanting to kill the Central Park Five. It's unfair. I've said it many times, didn't get credit for that. Well, Jay-Z is now named as a defendant. Now, the original filing, the woman claimed that in 2000, she came to New York with a friend hoping to get in the VMAs without a ticket. She then met a limo driver who allegedly worked for Diddy and invited her to Puff's VMA after party. She went, got drunk, fell asleep in a room alone, and allegedly woke up to Diddy and two other then unnamed celebrities allegedly assaulting her. Now, in her amended filing, the woman now alleges one of those celebrities was Jay-Z, and that the second, still unnamed celebrity was a woman who allegedly watched Puff and Hove take their turns with her. Now, soon as that broke, everybody started saying that I'm the one. I don't have nothing. I was on a yacht with Tiffany Haddish enjoying lunch. I don't know anything about any of this news. It was broken on NBC. It was not broken over here. But nonetheless, it went viral and it became the topic of conversation that has saturated social media and has been all over the news. Well, as soon as the news broke, Jay-Z denied the, quote, idiotic claims, and he dragged the ambulance chaser, Tony Busby, in a first ever social media post from a Jay-Z who does not do this. He actually responded, and this is what he said. It was very, very lengthy, and he went on to say his lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny it would take for him to settle. And he went on to say that you're not to get a red cent from me. His heart is breaking for his family. He has to sit down with Beyonce and his children to explain what they're seeing because they're on social media, that these are theatrics, and that he will basically go after him because he's not one of these celebrities who's going to be easily intimidated. Now, it's important to say there is a new process for extorting people, and I have seen that personally, and I get it. You tell a story to a platform, they write it, you file a lawsuit, you put it out there. The lawsuit can say all these crazy things that get picked up by the news, and then you go to them and say, let me help you make it go away. Nah. So on one hand, I love the fact that Jay is using his platform to fight back. On the other hand, now that you fought back, it's going to open up the door to more conversations. More people are going to either come forward or not. And now what's happened is it has created such a conversation that so many other people may find the courage to come forward if they believe that, including talking about those past relationships we talked about. Tony saw this and fired back. This is the attorney for the Diddy accuser. Take a look at what Tony said. Regarding the Jay-Z case and his efforts to silence my clients, Mr. Carter previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. He filed his frivolous case under a pseudonym. Was that pseudonym, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Pseudonym. What he fails to say in his recent statement is my firm sent his lawyer a demand letter on behalf of an alleged victim, and that victim never demanded a penny from him. Instead, she only sought a confidential mediation. Since I sent the letter on her behalf, Mr. Carter has not only sued me, but he has tried to bully and harass me and this plaintiff. His conduct has had the opposite impact. She is emboldened. I'm very proud of her resolve. As far as the allegations in the complaint file, we will let the filing speak for itself and will litigate the facts in court, not in the media. Well, when I told you that I was reached out to by people who wanted to talk to me on behalf of Jay-Z, they didn't say that this was the thing, but they alluded to like this massively destructive thing that could really destroy the family or whatever. Is it this? I didn't know nothing about this. I had never heard anything about an alleged 13-year-old. I've heard all the other rumors, but I'm not the FBI to go out there and drag you, Jay-Z, about it. And the thing that makes this all the more difficult, and I almost got emotional thinking about this, is how much I really love Beyonce. Like, this is not a story that I want to talk about. We do not want to talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce. We don't want to talk about Diddy, but Diddy is different because he has so much chaos and controversy around him. But Jay-Z and Beyonce, it's really, really difficult because of how much love and admiration we have for, I'll just say Beyonce. I mean, we love you, Jay, but like Beyonce, you don't understand. Like, we watched her video in your house every single day. I've been to every single concert. I bought 4 trips to go watch her during Renaissance. We were on the stage at her tour. I mean, I love Beyonce down. I'm a Beehive person. But over the years, when I've gotten deeper into this industry and actually seen and heard things, and there's a lot of things I don't report on because I'm given information that somebody's asked me not to share that has changed my perception of them. And I've said that. I'm not going to say why here, and it is what it is. But now that Busby has clapped back, Jay-Z is calling out his former position in the Marines. This is a photo of Tony during his Marine time. So in this post, he's basically saying that, he comes from standing on business and he's not going to be bullied by anybody. And being someone that's from the weapons platoon commander, Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 4th Marines, that he's ready to take on all the Marcy projects. Well, Diddy's legal team also spoke out regarding the filing. Take a look. This amended complaint and the recent extortion lawsuit against Mr. Busby exposes his barrage of lawsuits against Mr. Combs for what they are: shameless publicity stunts designed to extract payments from celebrities who fear having lies spread about them, just as lies have been spread about Mr. Combs. As his legal team has said before, Mr. Combs has full confidence in the facts and the integrity in the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. There's nothing wrong with being a freak, okay? You can be a freak. You can do freak nasty shit. When you fly them out with the intent to do stuff and coercing them or threatening them, or you pass them around to your friends, and we know that there have been pass-arounds at parties that happens, or when you do it with a minor, it's illegal, and there are consequences for that. And guess what? You're saying all of what you're saying, Mr. Diddy attorney, but Diddy is in jail until May, and he ain't getting out anytime soon, and it looks like he's screwed. They did the same charades when R. Kelly went down, and he's over there serving 20 years. So let's be very clear. Nobody's above the law. I don't care how many people you hire, fire, how many people you threaten to kill or sue or whatever. The law is what the law is, and they come in. And unfortunately, Beyonce, you stood out there with Kamala, so you already know Donald Trump's not going to give you a pardon or your husband a pardon. Now, let me say that what I will say is I do believe that Jay-Z is handling it the way a person who didn't do anything should handle it. He's not playing any games because in less than 24 hours, he fired back in court, demanding that the accuser reveal her name. She's not 13 anymore. She's a grown woman, which I agree. She should have to reveal her name. His lawyers also filed a motion asking the judge for an expedited hearing and to ultimately dismiss the lawsuit. Do you think that she should be required to say her name?
At this point, yeah.
I don't know. It's difficult because the only reason I say it's difficult is because the circumstances around the people who are involved and the allegations of like people being killed or people being threatened. So it's like there are certain protections that a person in this kind of situation would want to keep for themselves.
As long as she's protected, but I feel like why not? Like, let your truth shine.
Y'all and the sad part for me that's really hard to watch is like Tina Knowles is getting drug into it. She accidentally liked a post. do we have the post that she accidentally liked? This was the post that she accidentally liked. Jay-Z, Diddy named in lawsuit, alleging rape of girl 13. She liked it on accident. Now, we've all scrolled down Instagram and liked something, and it's been whatever. I just don't like the fact that Tina Knowles, who does so much for the culture and black people, black women, Black Lives Matter, somebody who, you know, you see her outside at Trader Joe's. She's like, you can walk up to me and talk to me. She's super sweet. And Beyonce is so nice. To be woven, for them to be woven into all this now is crazy. They went to this premiere the other night for Mufasa, which is a movie that Blue Ivy's in. And it was like, they have to know everybody's watching and thinking. And that their daughter being in the middle of all that is so unfair to her, because now she's being exposed to something that she has no control over. So I understand Jay-Z and Beyonce being protective of their children. And that's why I understood this past weekend when the people were telling me that, you know, that they're not happy with me and whatever, that I was like, I get it, right? I get it. But what I don't understand is why people won't pick up the phone. And I'm not even talking about them. Have somebody else that's not the person that we're into it with, have a conversation about what happened, you know? But again, it won't happen, and it is what it is. When this situation, Hov's legal team also alleged that Tony Busby dropped a woman as a client after trying to force her to make false allegations about being drugged and physically assaulted by Diddy and others. Now, the things got interesting when Jay-Z's mother-in-law, Tina, as I said, liked the photo, and y'all went crazy about all of that. So she posted a response to her accidentally liking the post, and this is what she said. She said, I was hacked. As you all know, I do not play about my family, so if you see something uncharacteristic of me, just know that it is not me. Please stop playing with me. No weapon formed against my family shall prosper. They were also outside at the movie premiere with their daughter, and, you know, I know Charlamagne was recently attacked for saying that he doesn't believe any of the allegations, but I'm gonna go on to say that I don't want to say that I believe anything until I understand more and see something. And I also will say that I can't say that I can't believe that we're talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. I pray that they find the peace. This is not a joke. This is a real thing. And it was really hard for me watching Beyonce and her daughter walking on the red carpet at that event, because I'm just thinking like, damn, like you've had a stellar career, no drama, no scandals. You've earned the privilege and the position of being the greatest artist of our time. You have built a family, and you know, you've done it all, and you've slowly started letting us into your life. And then now this happens. And Jay-Z, you know, you're fighting for your family, and I respect it, but it's also coming off extremely desperate, and it's coming off very, I understand when you're accused of something you believe you didn't do or you didn't do, that you want the world to know that. But social media doesn't care. Like, they're just eating this up. You're on every reaction's is an action, or every action's a reaction, and everything you do is on the news, and it's going to keep being discussed until there's some closure, and this thing can go on for months. What does he do?
I think he does what he's doing now. He like puts out statements to defend himself, and then just goes through the due process to have his day in court. And I think it's important that people like slow down and stop rushing to judgment, because these people have real lives. Like you mentioned before, they have young children who are going to see this. They have reputations that are at stake. And if they are guilty, then they should be punished for their crimes. If they're not guilty, they shouldn't have their life ripped apart in the process of finding their way to their innocence.
I just feel like, unfortunately, at this point, in my opinion, he's damned if he, you damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if he didn't go to the premiere, they'd be like, oh, wow, look, he's guilty. He didn't show up. But now he showed up. They're like, oh, look, he's not smiling. He's so guilty. So it's just like.
But it almost seems, too, like the Carters are oversaturating the media with new content to keep the other content away. Like, we're on the red carpet, behind the scenes on Good Morning America. They're doing what business as usual. But I think there's just a missing piece that, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. It's one of those things where, like, I can only say what I see, and I have not seen Jay-Z with a kid. You know, all the other things you want to say, his issues with Dame, the issues with, you know, Kanye or whatever. I mean, there's all those things that people can say about Jay-Z, doing the deal with the NFL behind, you know, while Colin Kaepernick. All that is business, and the business is what it is. Sometimes business gets messy. Did he cheat on Beyonce? I don't know. He wouldn't be the first man to cheat, and she's still with him, so that's their business. The 13-year-old, I hate when people throw that pedophile thing or that rape thing on somebody that's not true. We just saw Jonathan Majors lose his career as a result of something he was just found not guilty for, and now he's on his way back. But like Jay-Z with a 13-year-old, I mean, even if it was 20 years ago, it just seems crazy. Mm-hmm. But I also don't want to shame a victim, potential victim. So we're just going to keep watching it and reporting on it. We're still not done. Foxy Brown threw this up, and people are saying that it might have been something cryptic in response to Jay. Look, wait. Okay. Maybe she was talking to her Uber Eats driver. I don't know. Foxy, if you have something to say, you've DM me before, DM me. Or pull up. I'll pull up to you. But I don't know. This is sad. Beyonce, I still love you. I have a platform to say what I want to say. And Kelly Rowland, I still love you too. You know, it's this perception out there that because I said what I said to get the message to you, the message has been brought to you. I understand you all have talked about it. I love both of you. I don't care about interviewing you. I don't care about y'all coming on my award show. I don't care about you. I don't ever need to see y'all in my life. At least I will say as a fan, I love you. And I'm sorry that it's come to all of this, but this is what it is. All right. Goodbye. Did we do okay with that? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's just get out of here. Give us thoughts and prayers. With Inauguration Day a little over a month away, Donald Trump is moving full speed ahead to deportation station. But Trump's plans to mass deport aren't just targeting illegal migrants. Now, certain American citizens are being targeted, like Marina, as he again threatens the Constitution's 14th Amendment, a road we've been down before. Also, our president-elect, who's been convicted of 34 felonies, took issue with Joe Biden pardoning his son, calling it a miscarriage of justice. Meanwhile, he vowed to pardon the Capitol rioters. That looks like the pot calling the kettle orange. Trump is taking us for a ride that some of us just did not sign up for. Some of y'all did. Wasn't me. Just like the wicked ride that critics have taken with Ariana and Cynthia Erivo and taken us all on as well. Have we not learned to stop negatively commenting on people's evolving appearances? We don't know what people are going through. And if you're really, really, truly concerned, just pray for them and wish them well. Just like we're doing for Neo and his multiple girlfriends. That man said he's finally living in his truth. And he is now the most honest person he's ever been. What did Lizzo say? It's about damn time. Meanwhile, the game finally has no more games to play because he's confirmed that he's the father of Shanice's baby, and all we got to say is congratulations. And to Jay-Z, this is another wild ride that Diddy has taken us on as more names continue to drop. Unlike Diddy and other celebs name dropped, Hov immediately fought back, slamming the claims and his accusers' attorneys. As the case develops, we'll be right here to undevelop it with updates for you. That's it. I got to get out of here. This Beyonce Jay-Z thing was a lot. And that's it for this episode. Make sure you follow us everywhere that you can find us, and stay tuned. Bye.
The Jason Lee Podcast.